Well, hey, welcome to quarantine class. This is weird. I'm new to YouTube. I don't have a fancy background, as you can see, but I'm going to do the best I can to do a lesson for you. This week, April 13th, we're going to be talking about theme in each class, so this should apply to everyone. Um, Lesson on theme, like my high-tech gear. Yeah. Okay, so when we talk about theme, everybody says, oh, I know what that means. It means it's what the author wants you to know. But it's more specific than that. If I give you a poem or a piece to read, I want you to tell me what's the theme. And I want you to tell me exactly what you think the author is trying to convey is the most important point in that piece, even if it's fiction, okay? So let me tell you a little bit about theme, because there's theme by topic and theme by statement. All right, so theme by topic is, what's the poem about? Is it about, well, I see it's about war. No, this poem's about revenge. This poem's about loneliness. This poem's about love. It could be about all of them. And you could make a list of all of the themes that you see, all of the topics that you see touched upon in that piece, in that written piece. But really, in my questioning to you, when I send you a piece, let's say you choose war, I really want to know what's the theme by statement. What is the author saying about war? There are a lot of things we could say about war. War is hell. War is lonely. War is ethically and morally wrong. We could say a lot of things about war. War is necessary. Okay, we could say a lot of things. But if I ask you to talk about a piece, I'm going to specifically ask you to always refer to the name of the piece and the author who wrote it. So if you were to say something like, in this piece, it might say maybe, in the poem Incident in a Rose Garden by Donald Justice, the most obvious theme is, and then you start to write about it, okay? You always want to refer to the name of the piece and the author who wrote it. And then start telling me what you think. Okay, so let's pretend that in that poem, that you decided it's about war, and that you decided that you wanted to do a little bit more specific about war. War is hell. No one ever really wins at war. The costs are too high. People suffer on all sides despite who wins the war. And you can prove your answer by saying in Incident in a Rose Garden by Donald Justice. It is clear this is true when the character in the poem does this or says that or acts a certain way. Now that poem's got nothing to do with war, but I'm just using it as an example. Remember, never tell me what you know, what your answer is. Don't just give me an answer. Tell me how you know it. You may have to pull things out of the piece. You may have to quote the piece. And it's not cheating if you go online and read the analyses of other people. That's called research. It becomes a problem when you decide that you want to use the language of that person and you start copying from the website. So here's what I do. I read my piece, my poem, or whatever it is that I've sent you, or a song or whatever. I understand it the best that I can. I read it more than once. And I also look up words I don't know. I might even discuss it with somebody else in my house. Hey, what do you think this means? I think it means this. What do you think? My teacher wants me to find the theme. What do you think it's about? Okay. And then I would move on to the internet, maybe Google it, maybe go to poemhunter.com or some poetry site that talks about poems and look for the themes. It's okay to read what other people think, but it's what you think that I care about. Okay. So that's called research. So what you would do is you would do all your reading, and then you would turn off that website, or at least shrink it down, and then you would start to write what you think. If you don't have the text of the website in front of you, you're a lot less likely to copy what you cannot see. Okay? So always run it through your own brain first, and then start writing. Turn off that computer, turn it away from you so you're not tempted to copy. I know you're writing, I've read your journals, I'm pretty sure I know the voice of most of you, if not all of you. And if I read something that just looks like it belongs in the New York Times, I'm going to say, that doesn't sound like that person's voice, and we don't want to go there. We don't want to get into plagiarism. That's a big deal. In high school, you can lose credits, and it's a big deal in college because they'll just take your money and kiss you goodbye. So you don't ever want to get caught plagiarizing. You don't want to do it anyway because it dishonors the writer of the piece and it dishonors you as a student. You have valuable things to say, and I would much rather you spend the energy in a good analysis and in expressing yourself than in trying to be right. In a lot of these pieces, you're being asked to read a story, you're being asked to read a piece of poetry or something like that, and we want to know what you think, and thinking critically and asking questions. And that's a lot harder and a lot more intelligent than it is if I say, okay, so what color were the boots that the boy was wearing? And you can clearly look it up and it says the boy wore red boots. All right, we're way, way beyond that. We're into the analytical phase of literary analysis here. And you guys are really sharp at this stuff. You're great at finding contextual evidence, and that's what I want you to do. I want you to read it for yourself. You can look online for some help, and then I want you to give me a response that comes from you, okay? Even if you're way off base, but you make a good argument using evidence from the poem, hey, that's gonna go a lot further with me as your educator than it would if you were to just nail it and I agree with you. Your objective is not to agree with me. Your objective is to express yourself clearly and with evidence from the piece. Maybe we'll never figure out what the author meant by that poem, but that doesn't mean you can't analyze the poem. Okay, so it wouldn't be my class if we didn't have a day of a word of the day. But we don't have class every day. We have class once a week, really, or twice a week maybe. I'm going to be posting videos on Mondays, sending you emails on Mondays, and then by Friday at midnight or whatever, I'll be sleeping, so I won't care. Saturday morning, I'm going to open up my email and I'm going to look to see if you have sent in your work. If you have, it's on time, and if you haven't, it's a fail. I know that you know you're being graded on a pass-fail basis, and that is true, but there's a hitch to it. As educators, we've been asked to grade each piece according to its value, so I have to assign a numerical grade. I send it to the district, and then they decide, not me, they decide if it's pass or fail. So I have to kind of give it a 95, an 85, a 75, based on what I know about you and what I know about what I expect from you. So please don't give this minimal effort. I expect your best grammar. I don't want to see any lowercase i's unless it's inside a word. I want to see your best thinking. This is going to be a pretty easy semester. All you have to do is watch a few videos, write a short little response based on what you think, and you're good to go. You get to make your day, and I want you to make your days and get back to your home campus just as much as you do, trust me, and especially you, my seniors. So what is our word? Well, we don't have a word of the day, we have a word of the week. Okay, so the word of the week is soiree. That's how you say that, soiree. It's a French word, so you can blame the French for this goofy spelling. It's a formal evening party with music, like a prom. So you might say, my prom was amazing. It was like a soiree, or it was a soiree. I enjoyed the beautiful soiree I attended last night. So it's a formal, something you would get dressed up for. So use it in a sentence in front of your parents. See if they know what it means. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. Sometimes we think we know what words mean, but we use them incorrectly. So that's our word of the week, soiree. Thank you, French. Okay, so how do you get in touch with me? I think most of you know that you can call me or you can email me anytime. I actually have live office hours where I'm sitting in front of my computer every day, and if you want to actually get me on the phone. So just to make sure, you have my phone number is 469-948-8129. If you get some goofy little messages, leave a message at this number. It's not my voice. It's a WebEx computer. And so if you would just leave me a message and tell me, hey, I can't talk to you now, but I really need to talk later after 5. I will call you anytime just about, as long as it's not like past 11 o'clock at night, because I'm kind of an early person. Or you can just email me a question, kelly.burgess, that's KELLEY.Burgess @DentonCounty, that's all one word, .com. I will respond to emails as probably that same day, if not the next morning. And if you're having a struggle with technology or something and you need to turn something in late, just let me know, okay? Not a big deal. Guys, I miss you so much. And I want to go back to school. I want to go back to school. I don't want to be in quarantine in this little room in my house that I've designated as my new office. So I would much rather see your smiling, wonderful faces and have discussions about literature instead of just having you analyze on your own. But you know what? You're a lot more capable than you think you are. Most of you are. So please let me see that effort. Send me your best work, and I look forward to reading it. Have a great week, and I'll read your stuff on Saturday.